This is going to be a really fascinating parenting tip today. Why? Because usually I speak about the first 5 years of life, or the next 5 years, or the teen years, but today I decided to focus on those transition years from your teenager to parenting an adult child. And when does that start? Does it start when they're 18? Does it start when they've graduated college? It's not like one day you wake up and you say, okay, now my kid's an adult, I'm done, goodbye. Right? It's not like that. It's a process. It's a process. I would say begin when they're 16. Begin when they're 16 and encourage them to get a job. If they're going to drive, encourage them to pay for the insurance. Encourage them to take responsibility for their lives. If they're going to feel like an adult, encourage them to jump into the chores in the house that they're living in, which is usually your house, unless they're boarding and then there. Teach them cleaning skills, how to keep their room clean, how to make their bed every day, making sure that they understand how to be an adult. And then, before they send them out to be an adult, and then sit them down and go over finances with them. 16. Go over the finances with them. Go over taxes with them. Go over what it means when everything, is this in the net or is this, explain it all to them. Let them understand finances. Let them understand what bills are going to be coming in. It's the electric bill, it's the water bill, it's the phone bill. Do you want a landline? What kind of car do you want? What insurance do you want? What's the maintenance on the car? How much is that going to cost? What about the inspections yearly and how much is that cost? And keeping them up to date. And here's your 3A's card or your car insurance card that who do you call if your car breaks down? Don't call me. Who do you call? Who's the professional? And giving them the tools that they need to be an adult. What do you do when you get a flat tire and you're out there? Do you know how to change that tire? Let's go learn how to change that tire. You might never need to change it. You might always make this phone call, but if you're driving a car, you need to know how to change it. Do you know how to keep all the liquids under your car going, all the antifreeze and the wiper stuff? And how often are you going to take your car to the car wash? How often are you going to clean your house? How often do you dust? How often do you vacuum? How often do you mop the floor? What's the procedure for dishes in your sink? You're living alone, you're adult, or you're living with 5 other people and you all are adults, you're 18. Your glass, you wash it. Somebody else left their glass in, do a favor, wash it. Don't just wash it and put it on the counter. Wash it, dry it, put it away. Wash it, dry it, put it away, right? You have to boil noodles for dinner or something. As they're boiling, look in the sink, wash it, dry it, put it away. Wash it, dry. Time management in the kitchen, really important. If you're an adult, you want to teach them as an adult, don't leave any of the house cleaning for the next day. Because today's problems are today's problems, tomorrow's problems are tomorrow's problems. You want to wake up and you want to be able to have a nice fresh start. First thing you do is you make your bed when you're an adult. But Ma, you're not going to be there, you're not going to be watching. Being an adult is doing the right thing when I'm not watching. That's an adult, right? You do things because it's the right thing. Listen to your internal voice always. Listen to your conscience. Teach them at 16 how to become an adult. Somebody asks you to do something, it doesn't feel right. How do you say no? How do you say, no, that seems like it's an okay thing for you to do, but it's not in my 5-year plan. It's not going to happen. Teach them how to become an adult, all the skills they need. Get out that sewing kit. Teach them how to sew a button on. Teach them how to put a patch on their clothes. Teach them how to mend a sock. Teach them, if we have a throwaway society, right? Teach them how to mend. Now I know that pants today, they buy them with holes in it. I will never, ever get into that style. I remember I bought a pair of pants. The only pair of pants that I could find in the store had holes in it. Little holes, but holes nonetheless. It's like we have a poor society or something. I went out and got fun patches from the 60s and put them on. put them on, put them on. You know, I didn't go all the way back to the 60s to get it, but some sewing store was selling these patches, and I bought a lot. I enjoy working with patches, but teach your child how to sew a badge or patches onto their clothes without seeing a stitch. Where I live right now, the children, when they're 18, they go into the army, right? So it's important to know how do you sew those stripes on without seeing a stitch, right? So you teach them the skills that they will need to become a successful adult before they're a successful adult. Teach them that it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you save. Teach them to start a retirement fund when they start their first job. Watch it grow, add to it, make it automatically come out of your... Teach them this. Teach them to have another bank account, another maybe savings account that you just put in for savings for the rainy day. That you should always have at least 2 months of all your bills, enough money for all the bills to be paid for 2 months, at least to 6 months, in this savings account. So if something happens, like we saw when they shut down the world with Corona, man, was that crazy, right? Or you get a crazy boss and they fire you even though you're doing a great job, whatever it is, and then you can't find a job for a little bit, you're not homeless. You have this to fall back on. You build your safety cushion. Teach them that from their salary, after they pay their bills, to give 10%, 15% to the world to make it a better place, right? Teach them the value of giving, maybe to a sibling, maybe to a friend. So first to the family, then to the community, then to the bigger community, then to the world. That's the formula for giving. But always give after you get your paycheck, after you pay everything off. If you teach your child how to be an adult before they're an adult, starting at 16, and they'll love these lessons, it will start to bond you together. But again, just as you were not their friend when you were raising them, you were their parent, you are still not going to be their friend as an adult. And what do I mean by that? You can do great things with them. Let's say one loves to go to art galleries. You can call her up and say, let's go to an art gallery. Absolutely. She can share with you some of the things that are going on. Absolutely. Try really hard not to be the therapist at this point, just the sounding board. And when I say don't be their friend, I mean this. This is the most important thing. Don't put your issues on them. You have your own people. They can be your friend, they can be friendly, and you can have such a tight relationship. But still, you don't go and take your personal relationships back to your children, your relationships with their siblings back to their children, your relationships with your friends back to your children. Even if they're 40, that's not your job. Get your own people. You want to have a friendly relationship with your child, but you're not friends. Friendly, enjoy each other, love each other, have the best time together. Right? You know, in life, sometimes we outgrow friends. Sometimes friends hurt us. Sometimes they leave us. But in mother-parent relationships, that doesn't happen. And if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, but you don't know my parent, it did happen and I keep it that way, I encourage you to message me below and let me help you through that. I've been through it. I have been through it. I've been through it. Friends, you can move on from friends. I say that having friends since I'm in kindergarten. And I've even made friends over the past 5 years. I've made friends on Zoom that I never want to lose in my entire life. But I'm okay if I lose them. I'm okay if they don't like me anymore. But not when it comes to children, brothers, sisters, family members. It's important to keep these ties close together. Don't let things separate you, like Corona, politics. It's ridiculous. My views on politics are not going to change the world. My views on Corona are not going to affect anybody. I'm not a public politician. Don't talk about these things if your families have different opinions than that. Find out what their interests are. Work on those interests together. Become friendly together. Become there for each other. It's a big world. We can't always be there for each other by showing up physically. We can show up Zoomly. Look, I just turned it into a verb. We can Zoom, right? So that is your long-winded Bubbie Pin for today. If you like what I have to say, please give me a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Subscribe to my channel. I try and post these Bubbie Pins every day because I'm Bubbie. I'm a grandmother. And if you're going through what I've been through in life, hey, maybe I can help you. Catch you later. Catch you tomorrow.